So today we're looking at Ultimate Scream. We've got ourselves heroes and normal players. We'll start off with the heroes. Now, we have got some position changes as well. It took me a minute to realize Campos is actually a striker now, and prices do reflect what I've kind of seen. Natale with his first upgrade in one of the first promos that we've seen since like FIFA 16. Like genuinely, I don't think he's ever got a first upgrade on the very first promo ever. Normally he's kind of like last in the bin waiting for that upgrade, but they have actually seen the light with him. We have got Crouch in cam, we got Owairan being a striker, a CDM Mascherano as we know, but we will start off with our boy Natale. He's one of my personal favourites in the game. He's got the Finesse Shot Plus, which is magnificent, and the stats in terms of upgrade. So if you're looking for coins, head over to Elorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Elorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by Trade Shield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. It's not like it's absolutely crazy. He's playing on the left wing, which he could do anyway. He can play striker, like he could do anyway. He's a 4-star. He's obviously got a few more roles and no more playstyles. So in terms of the upgrade itself, he's still as good as the 88. Like, this is just a slight dynamic. It's a slight position change of you can have left mid now, and that's pretty much everything that you need to know. Now, if you need to know this, the 88 hero is still phenomenal in this game to an absolute T. We don't really get anything different. One's on the board. We won't change it just because it's an Ultimate Team promo. It is most definitely still just the 88. You might as well save yourself the 600,000 coins and buy that 88 at the minimum if you are looking for one. The only thing you're getting, a pretty cool cosmetic on the actual card and the dynamic. That being said, he still obviously is in the absolute top of the top. I don't think anybody can really question Natale at this point. The meta players at the very top are still going to be incredible when it comes to heroes and icons because they're so difficult to get. They're not easy by any standard. Now, if we was looking at Campos, this is a total change because we can't really compare anything to him. He's got 93 on the pace plus for some reason, because naturally he's gone from having his goalkeeping stats to the striker. Now, he is 5'6", so striker and kind of left wing, right wing kind of suit him, to be honest. He's got the press proven, which is always nice. He's a 3-star, 4-star, so they've added a little bit onto that, which is always nice. And in terms of roles, we got the advanced forward, we got the poacher plus. He's going to be one of them strikers that is okay. Like, he's not going to be everybody's favourite. He's going to be a bog standard. Nothing too crazy. It's a nice position change. I will always say this when it comes to any card that does change its position, especially a goalkeeper. At least it's something different. Some people like it, some people don't. Now, I don't think I could go much more than A. I think he's nice. Like, I'd probably prefer him in this position over his goalkeeper. At 5'6", he's never going in net. Like, it's just not happening. The keeper is just far too small to be in net in Ultimate Team. It just doesn't work. In real life, it might have been better than you can kind of imagine, but naturally in FIFA, it just doesn't work. So that just is what it is. We then also have Crouch. He's gone from a striker to a cam. He can obviously still play the striker, the striking role, and he's got the technical plus rather than the acrobatic, which is fair enough. 4 on the pace, 12 on the dribbling, which is really nice to see. Obviously, he got a massive agility balance boost, some composure, some dribbling. It's, again, another upgraded card. I don't know if I'd quite go as far to say as it really fixes him. We've still got the 3-star. We've obviously added a few roles as well, just as an extra. We've got target, forward, plus. We've added poacher, shadow striker, and classic, which isn't awful in itself, but realistically, he's just going to be a bog standard. Like, he's going to be nostalgic that it's Crouch, and that's kind of about it. In game, he still feels a bit clunky. He's definitely got more of a turn and circle, which is nice, but he's still the height that he is. He's 6'7". He's going to be difficult to get on board with, so it just is what it is with him. It really takes like a massive upgrade for somebody like Crouch to become very relevant in this kind of category. And then really from there, we've got some very nice players, Mascherano being one of them. I actually really like him in that DM role. I know he kind of plays that centre back with a slide tackle. We've now upped him to the CDM. He also can still play CDM, but obviously he's got the pinged pass now. He's obviously got a few play styles as well, like pretty much the same as the previous version. He got an extra one in the slide tackle because he already had the ping plus already, and he got tiki-taka plus. In terms of the stats, again, very similar to a lot of these players. He's got a little bit more on that dribbling, which is nice. Some decent passing across the board. But as a CDM, he was still already fantastic with that defending physical. You'd throw the anchor on him. Okay pace, it's good enough, but 95 defending, 91 physical. Even if you threw it on here, 94-90 was still a very good centre-back in that previous card. Now, I don't believe he's absolute top of the CDM roles if we was going on. Everybody was looking at a Patrick, at a Matthias, at a Hullet. It's fair, like he's just not going to be. But most definitely, he would personally come into an S category quite easily with this list. We then throw ourselves into Hamshik because he's one of my personal favourites. He is nostalgic if you've played FIFA for quite some time. He was part of that generational midfield, the Serie A team that you could make with the Chiellinis, the Barzaglis, the Tottis back in the day, De Rossi, Adriano if you go a bit further back. Hamshik was part of that. I think, to be honest, I want to say he was about 86 as well, 86, 87 around about. Ratings were a little bit different back then, but he was definitely one that you just loved. Obviously, the hairstyle is just incredible in itself. It's an iconic card. He's just brilliant at it. And I do think as a midfielder goes, he's a lovely midfielder. He got 5 on the defending to make him into that more Hullet gang. He is obviously more cam orientated, or at least box to box orientated, than he is defensive, but he's definitely going to make it work 100% of the time. He's quick on the dribble. He's got a lovely pass out as well. Now he's got the incisive, the same as his previous version. He just works really, really well in that cam role for me. And I think if I was going to be really harsh, I could say S, because the cams that we've got, if you are including Maradona, Pele, if you throw like a Eusebio in that or Cruyff in there, fair enough, they are going to be slightly ahead of him, but he's still, for the price that you're paying, one of the better cards that you can physically get in here. Owairan hype. Now, he's one that definitely dropped off last year. Like, he had a massive just hype in, what was it, 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they introduced Heroes. He was just the one. The pace was blistering, and don't get me wrong, he's still incredible with it. He's got the rapid. Stats-wise, it's just a standard upgrade. I like him this year. I think it depends. Let me know down below what you think about him, but I do think he's overhyped at times now, especially when you consider what we have as kind of right wings. You look at Salah this year. Salah is unbelievable this year and is practically half the price compared to this card. I personally wouldn't quite go into the absolute S+. I'd happily say he's a phenomenal card, but I wouldn't put him on that category as previous years where he was just the right wing that you could go for. It's kind of ever since they threw in El Jabber, it's like they've given him links and then they just didn't really need it. They brought in Noor as well, who obviously is kind of the lower rated, but he's just not quite in my category at the absolute top at this point. But let me know what you think. I could be in my own on that debate. I just think in terms of right wings, when I look at Yamal, I look at Mbeumo, the cheaper options in comparison, I didn't really see that much difference, really. Like, he's a very standard card across the board. Like, there's loads of pace, but the end product was always good, but it just weren't that final touch, in my opinion. Which then brings us over, in fact, we'll do the SBC first, because we have got the 2 Pogbas. Now, I think one of the pro players, I can't remember what pro player said it, and he said it absolutely beautifully. Pogba is expensive. It's 200k. It's very, well, 220. Very expensive. And Pogba's at this sort of level of hype because it's Pogba. We haven't had a card for Pogba for years. He is naturally a nostalgic player that everybody wants to have in their team. And don't get me wrong, he's good. He's not unbelievable. He's very, like, the upgrade. If you look at the upgrade from the 79, it's fantastic. It's a brilliant upgrade for the card itself. But if you do compare him to someone just as recent as Busquets, Busquets is unbelievable. Like, he's a very good CDM. Caicedo, very good CDM. You throw in Patry, you throw in even just a bog standard Kimmich. They are incredible DMs if you throw into kind of more of a centre mid. Do you really put him on the level of a 200k player? I don't know if I'd quite say I would. And I do, like I say, I do get the hype. It's fair enough. But when we're looking at 200,000, it is a bit expensive. I'd have possibly put him closer to 150 more so than anything. I don't know if I'd quite have gone over the 200k mark, especially when icon SBCs are not coming in at that price. If we're looking at 200,000, we're looking at a bit of Kev, we're looking at Eze, the new Kimmich that is still dropping, Mascherano, we're looking at Marquisio and Mascherano. He's still just there, and then we've got a few icons, granted nothing crazy, but realistically, is he as good as them? Pulisic, fantastic cam card. You go a bit further down, you look at someone like Wilson in a different position. Would you say he's better than her in his position? Gravenberch, João Neves. There is a lot of examples here where if it's just for the name of him, fair enough, there's not going to be a really debate for that, because you can't get the Pogba any other way. Naturally, you can go through an evolution with him. His 79 has got the ability to go up to an 84. I think I put him in... I want to say I put him in this, and then I can go ahead and put him in the big fella as well after refreshing my verification. It puts him a little bit closer. Nothing too crazy, because naturally the upgrade is still very, very nice. Like, obviously, you see the 15 defending he's got there, but he has 11 on that CDM. It's questionable, but this is just the start of him. You've got him into an 85. You could then upgrade him more. The only problem is you don't get the dynamic, which I think is what a lot of people will do this SBC for. Now, like I say, in-game, he is good. I like the two cards. I think the two cards are actually so separate apart that I'm like, I would love to have both of them in terms of if I could have the choice to have both, fair enough. But I would even say right now he wouldn't necessarily get in my team. I've got Patrick Caicedo and Marmouche, who is a shadow striker. I don't think he'd have the shooting ability even in cam to rival Marmouche, and even then I've got Nakata sitting on the bench. He's not going to get into the team, so for 220, you've always got to ask that question. Now, in game, I do think he's not bad. He's definitely a solid card. He can hold his own, but I don't know if I'd quite go as kind of hyped as before. I think he would be coming in for me as more of a, I'd say a very low S. I wouldn't definitely go into the S+, and I think he'd be very closer to A after like another week or two of promos quite comfortably. And then if we go through the kind of bulk standard ultimate screams, we obviously will have some bottom feeders, some lower cards that are just going to be in there. I'm not necessarily saying that they're totally useless in terms of they can't go in your team, but realistically, when you look at like a Pablo Fornells, solid card. I mean, he's got a bit about him. He's not necessarily terrible, but realistically, is he going into your team? Like, I think we could possibly argue with like a low B tier. Same with wherever he's gone. Where's Pablo? Is it Pablo? Where has he gone? He must be on. Oh no, there he is. They're going to be standard. Like, I've not done all of the players, because naturally, if you look through all of the objectives as well, you have got so many players that you can kind of get from this. Not many of them are going to be in any question, so I've kind of just gone with what you can actually get SBC-wise, and then I've put a Lewis-Skelly as the final reward, as at least he's semi-solid on the game as well. And we've even got a few in the kind of game here, like just realistically, some solid stats, but they're not necessarily going to be overtaken like a Yamal. They're not going to overtake a new Mbeumo. That just kind of is what it is for a lot of them. Even Thomas Muller looks relatively decent, but realistically, is he taking over much of the positions? Like, it's 26,000. He's got lovely stats across the board. They gave him a beautiful pace increase, which is always nice. I know he did get quite a nice one for his inform, so it's just an even better jump. He's great. It's a great card, but realistically, it's going to give you a little bit of backache when you think, are you really dropping a Haaland? Are you dropping a Gyökeres, an Isak? Are you dropping kind of like a... who would be kind of around that sort of level, really? You've got 86. I suppose you've even got the, is it Dumane? The Hattian? Hattian is the right one? I think it's Hattish is from. The League One striker, Katoto, Wilson. There's so many that you could throw out there. I don't think Muller really gets into much of that shout, in my opinion. I don't know if I'd quite go C, because at least some of them have got that slight upgrade, which is nice. And it will be nice if they do get a Playstyle Plus to add on top. Now, obviously, we throw into one that I personally have packed untradeable. The very first one that I am ecstatic about is Mbeumo. 87 rated, gone from the 85. Did get a weak foot upgrade, which is absolutely massive for him. He did go from the, is it the Game Changer, which is obviously the Travella, into a Power Shot. Now, they're kind of on that same sort of level, but at the very minimum, at least he could do a power shot from the right-hand side on the left. It was the biggest problem with this 85 is you've got the Travella On the right wing, he's left-footed, so you're looking to try and do it that way because he's left-footed, because he has a 2-star weak foot on that card. So it doesn't really work unless he's left wing, which he can't play. Now, naturally, you could put him in striker. Don't know if I'd quite say he's a striker in this. I'd definitely still say the right wing. Slight upgrade on stats, which is always nice. 3 on the shooting, 2 on everything else, 1 on the pace. It's a great card. It's an absolute great card. I think for me, he puts himself very firmly in that S. I'd definitely say he'd be above quite a few of them, but naturally he's going to be around that sort of level for right now, and then naturally we'll see him kind of tail off in the future that little bit. Now, obviously, we do look at the kind of the man of the hour. We look at a bit of Vinny. 90 rated. He's obviously got an inform at that as well. We have actually had a little bit of a stat upgrade as well. We've got pace on +1, +1 on the passing, but then we have a downgrade of 5 physicality. No, other way around. We have 1 downgrade, sorry, on the pace. It's because I'm doing it this way. There we go. That's better. So we get 3 on the shooting, 5 on the physical. I was like, no, he got more of an upgrade. He lost 1 defending, 1 passing, 1 pace. That's absolutely fine for the exchange of the 5 physicality and 3 on the shooting. It's a lovely, lovely card. He obviously goes for the low driven. I am personally sick of the low driven. It's every game you let anybody with that low driven just on the edge of the box, it's going in. Like, low driven plus is absolutely broken, so I can imagine that will be kind of weakened a little bit at some point. And Vinny, I mean, Vinny's Vinny. You can kind of expect him to go to the absolute treetop. I mean, I don't think there was really much question for that. One that did surprise me, we have got a Kimmich, but he doesn't have the CDM version, and he's not gone up a rating. He is now 89 still, but instead of the long ball pass, he's got jockey, which is fantastic. We've obviously had a slight difference in pace, which is a +9. We've got an extra physicality in defending, and 1 on the dribbling as well. It's coming in at 211. I really liked Kimmich's base card, so this is even better. Now, I don't really utilize long ball pass that much. It's always nice to have it just in case, but I really like the jockey in this, especially coming in as a DM or a right back. I think the jockey works quite comfortably. If you're holding your DM more so than your centre backs, that could work in your favour pretty well. So he most definitely is one to watch this year, because if he does manage to get into that Bundesliga team of the season, there's a slight card that this could be one of the best CDM Kimmiches we've seen to this date, and he has had some wonderful, wonderful cards. Obviously, we have to speculate a little bit more with Lewis-Skelly, because he is available for an objective 6 puzzle SBCs that you've got to do. No playstyle plus, but a massive upgrade for him. Obviously going from 78 to 85. A brilliant card, and naturally Arsenal cards are starting to get more and more of the upgrade, which is nice to see. I kind of hope that they do get a Saka card at some point. He really just needs a bit of an upgrade again. Every year, they just leave him out of the meta. They're like, they don't even remotely try to make him meta. Like 84 pace for Saka. I mean, I get that he's not quite like an Adama, but he's still faster than that by any shot. We've obviously got the Saliba, but we've had Eze, we've had Zubamendi, we've had Calafiori, Nwaneri, obviously then Little if you're going for the female versions, Lewis-Skelly, Mbeumo. Some lovely Arsenal cards that you can get, and I think Lewis-Skelly is going to be that standard card in the middle. He'll kind of be like that Mainu. He's standard in the middle for what he is. Maybe an evolution a few kind of down the roads. Could be an interesting upgrade. I think you'd be silly not to finish that SBC, but I'd kind of go into a bog standard A, and I don't think, unless he just plays next level, I don't think I could push him up into that S. One that's got a potential to go to the moon is Karchaoui. Sakina is incredible. The gold card is everywhere. I've seen her in so many people's teams, especially if they've got the likes of Dubonnet and Diani. She just fits perfectly. She has got a great card this year, and not in the left back either. We've added to the Trickster Plus, which kind of is what it is, but in general as that cam role, she's obviously got 5 positions she can play as well. Due is the other one, but she can play centre mid, cam, left wing, and left back. The endless possibilities of all them roles is going to be nuts. We got a couple of, I think we got the same play styles throughout. We got just the play style plus added, and obviously she's still a 5-star, 4-star, but stats wise, there's not necessarily a crazy upgrade, but regardless, still a nice little upgrade on the go. You can either go for the defensive mid 4er, or you just go all out on the finisher and just whack her into that cam effortlessly. Now, I think maybe with a slight upgrade to be more cam focused, she could most definitely be pushed into that S+. For right now, I think an S would suit her a little bit more. We also have Teller. Now, if everybody remembers kind of last year with him going into that 99 rated card through a freak Evo that changed him, and even then, was it packing his special version even though it was just gold there? Incredible, but it's a standard card again, nothing too crazy. I'd say possibly even just slightly better than the average here. Maybe we could whack him into kind of a low A. Maybe you could do the same for Muller, maybe even Da Costa. I quite like Da Costa in game, to be fair. We then also have, is it Kabul? Juan David Kabul, I'm pretty sure. 50,000 coins, coming in as a centre-back. Great pace, defending, physical. It's come up from a silver, a massive upgrade from him. 10 on pretty much everything and above. 11 on a lot of stuff. It's a nice upgrade. He's got the Anticipate Plus, which I think really saves this card because not every single card goes absolutely nuts from a silver to an 85, a gold, any version like that. But the Anticipate really saves this card in my opinion. It is a great playstyle plus for a centre back. We also then have Dabina coming in with her 89. She has already got the Inform at 635. We've changed the Trickster Plus for the Quick Step, which is always nice. Stats wise, we're looking at pretty much ones across the board. She was always a nice card, to be fair, even from her bog standard 88. Very, very nice to see in the game. And then finally, we have got Liao coming in as the striker, left wing, left mid. Obviously very expensive. And to be honest, even with the rating, he's still very good. Like, he's a very, very good card in game. He's big, he's strong, he gets that pace going forward. You sometimes just can't stop him if you know how to kind of get through the system. Now, obviously, he did get the Finesse Shot Plus as well. I think the main question would be is, do you really rate him at that S+? Personally, for me, I played 2 games with him so far. He's been very, very good. I would love to kind of get like another 10 games under my belt before I really disregard him from the S+. But I'd say right now, from sheer hype alone, he's definitely got to be up there. And then we'll kind of come back with more of a verdict once we've had a few more games and seen a few more teams against him. Because the first team was just, we rolled them. The second team was a little bit better and he still shone quite well, just not necessarily on the absolute top stage compared to like a Vinny. Vinny has been unbelievable in his gold, so we'll kind of leave that up to debate. So let me know down below what you think about the Ultimate Scream. Have you managed to get anybody as of yet? Make sure you do like and subscribe on this, and I'll catch you all for that next one. Peace.